nervous. So before I start, I need to read off my phone because I will end up rambling about something completely different. So just don't mind me. I'll just wait till we get the PowerPoint up. Oh yeah, there we go. So good afternoon, everyone, or yep, we're afternoon. My name's Amina. I'm the project manager from the Edinburgh Interfaith Association, and today I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what we do as an organisation to prevent hate crime in Edinburgh specifically, but wider communities. We're trying to reach Glasgow, Stirling, Dundee, etc. So there's 3 topics I'm going to touch on. A little short background story about IFA, what we do, of course, what work we do to prevent hate crime, and then I'm going to end off with a little personal story, which is the best part. So we'll start off with a little background about the Edinburgh Interfaith Association. So the Edinburgh Interfaith Association is the longest running interfaith organisation in Scotland. It was founded over 30 years ago by the very talented and expert in world religions Frank Whaling. That's actually a painting done by university students last year, so really impressive. So Frank Whaling's vision was very clear. He wanted to cultivate interfaith dialogue, understanding, respect, community building, and just promote harmony for all faiths to live in harmony, pretty much, yeah. And we still use them values a lot in our work. So our main aims in the Edinburgh Interfaith Association is respect, harmony, community building, understanding. So Frank's vision is just so implemented in our day-to-day tasks, our overall mission. If it wasn't for him, the grounds of IFA would just not exist, quite simply. So now you know a little bit about IFA, how it came around, how it started. And then we're going to move on to what we do, done, and are doing. So this is our little team. So even though we have a small team, it's me, myself, the project manager. We've got Ian Stewart, our executive director, who was actually supposed to be here today, but he couldn't because he's on compassion leave at the moment. And we have our volunteer coordinator, Sophia Lanza. So even though we're a really, really small team, we get up to so much stuff that I'll tell you about. We'll go on to the next slide. Sorry. That's okay. So one of our main projects on preventing/tackling hate crime is our school programs. So this is actually what I manage, one of my main projects. They're called the Religion and Belief Roadshow. So pretty much what it is we bring about 5 to 6 faith speakers to a primary school or a secondary school, and they sit in kind of like a horseshoe round table, and the kids rotate in small groups around these faith speakers. And what we've noticed is that it works so much better than showing the kids a vague video on YouTube that's like 100 years old and mentions like the tiniest thing about faith overall. So it works amazing. We actually reached our best target. In less than a year, we managed to target 3,000 pupils in Edinburgh, and that's something we've never done before. Also another thing that's great, yeah, just the feedback. Here we go. So this is some feedback we've got in from pupils and so on. I'm not sure if you guys can read it, but overall it's very positive. Here we go. And one great thing about our roadshows is that we always bring along Police Scotland. They've actually came to all of our sessions, and what Police Scotland do is that they not only educate the children about hate crime and that you have to report it and it's actually against the law to be rude, they also encourage kids to emphasise how important it is to respect other religions and cultures and people of colour overall. So it's not just focused on faith, which is really fun. So, and plus they bring these police hats, so I think that's really good stuff. And here's just a few feedback we get. So, I mean, this is one of our Sikh speaker, Damveer. The kids love him. I mean, he's just such a great guy, but that's a quote we got, a boy aged 10. Can go back. said, I learned a lot about Sikhism. They show respect. You don't have to be scared when you see a Sikh, and they're really nice. How lovely is that? And then we got another one of my favourite ones. At the end of the session, we asked everyone, what did you learn today? And a little 9-year-old boy looked at the diverse group of speakers and he said, I learned how the world works. And that's just so beautiful, so pure. So we also have ongoing projects that we do that tackle hate crime, discrimination, and just promote understanding and respect in general. So some of these are our Holocaust Memorial events and our International Women's Day events. And every year we also have our Religious Leaders Conference, and they're always held by activists, anti-racism activists. Just pull up the names because I always forget. So pictured there is Irene Mosata. She is the chair of the Edinburgh Slavery and Legacy Commission. I don't have a photo of Deborah, but she's the Rector University of Edinburgh Human Rights Campaign. And they've stuck with us every year for like the past 4 years, so it's great to have them on board with our annual events. This was a recent photo from our Holocaust Memorial event. We tend to focus our Holocaust Memorial events on overall genocides in the world and how they're relevant in today's world as well. And we always invite primary school students that we've done roadshow sessions with, and they always come along. They ask questions to our guest speakers, and it's just a great event. It's a great turnout. This is just a photo from International Women's Day. So International Women's Day is always organised by me and Sophia, the women in the organisation, and we just love taking control of the event. And yeah. And then we've got our annual Peace Walk. So again, that's usually in summer. I say summer, but summer in Scotland is like...
It looks like summer in Scotland.
Like, can you tell? It was raining that day. Like the sky is so grey, but we did have a really good summer 2 years ago. It didn't rain during the Peace Walk, which is great, but like it always rains. Anyway, so our Peace Walk it's quite different. So it's an event, but it's outdoors and it's very like interactive and free and open. So what we do is we tell everyone that, hey, we're going to visit all the places of worship in Edinburgh, and we're going to do like a route, like a huge walk. Keep in mind, Edinburgh's quite small, so it's not that long, but it's a nice little journey. We go through the different communities, and we just tell people to join us on the way. And what the fun thing about this event is that people that join us, they tend to have not heard of IFA before, or they're just like, who are they? Like, who's that group with a banner? Like, who are they? And they come and they join us on the walk, and we make friends, and they end up becoming members. And that's the best thing about the walk, is that the conversations we have during the walk, and we'll go into these places of worship and we'll get a small little talk about that faith or that building, their practice, and we discuss that till the next place. And we found this is just like a nice and different way to really discuss the diverse communities in Edinburgh, and to learn about it as well. So, yeah. And of course, we've got our podcasts, and they are produced by Brad Young over there, right there. There we go. So we've got two. We've got Interfaith Insights and we've got Future of Faith. So during, before lockdown, Edinburgh Interfaith Association was a very in-person organisation. We didn't even have Facebook. Like, we were like in the old age, no email address, nothing. We were old, like very old. So during lockdown, obviously we couldn't have these in-person events, these meetings, these gatherings. So we started live streaming on Facebook and had little podcast kind of discussions where we spoke about things or problems that are going on in the world right now, issues in the news, whatever it was, and it was great. We got thousands of views, and we thought, you know what, how about we actually turn this into an actual podcast? So that's where Brad done the amazing work. we're on Spotify. So the Interfaith Insight is more fit for our more longer members who've stuck around from a long time ago. And we usually talk about topics that are not only faith but non-faith related as well. And then we've got our Future of Faith that's hosted by Sophia Lanza. Now, Future of Faith is more fit for our younger audience. And they talk also about interfaith but also intercultural topics too. And I also popped in a little QR code if anyone wants to scan that, and it'll take you right to the podcasts. I don't know if anyone's in it. little sly promotion going on.
Oh, sorry. Go on. Go ahead. Anybody?
And moving on to the personal story. That was such a good hair day, so I thought I'd pop that. I knew that travelling all day I wasn't going to have like volume hair, so anyway. So, yeah, my personal story. So, my story is probably the main reason why I work in Interfaith, or third sector in general. So, growing up, I grew up in a very small, narrow-minded town. I was the only family of colour. We were the first family of colour to be in that whole town, in fact, in that whole area of towns. So it was quite hard. Being the youngest daughter of my brothers and my male cousins and stuff, I was very protected. So it was hard as well in that sense. So when I started high school, I got bullied quite a fair amount. And to me, I thought it was normal because everyone says, well, when you go to high school, like, watch out, there's going to be the big scary bullies, the seniors, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I was just like, oh, this is normal. This is what I expected. That's fine. But then I never realised how much it actually affected me physically as well. I stopped eating. I lost a lot of weight. I was actually anorexic for 2 years. I stopped attending school. I stopped socialising. I pretty much just shut down. And these were in the years where I was 15, 16, that prime teenage years where you're supposed to go crazy and, go wild and do everything that you're not supposed to do. I mean, I guess it's good that I didn't do that, but... but yeah, in all seriousness, it was a very strange and rough area of my life. And, of course, not having any friends of colour or faith, it was hard to really find someone to talk to about these things. And at that age too, you're growing up. You don't want to talk to your mum about, oh, mum, I'm getting bullied, and you don't want to talk to your brothers and your big cousins because you don't want a fight to break out either. You don't want to draw more attention to yourself. But eventually, I got so angry. I got so angry, and I went to the head teacher and I pretty much threatened the whole school, and I was like, we need to host an assembly because this is just not normal. I mean, I was getting notes thrown at the back of my head in class, and I was getting lockers like broke open. It was really brutal stuff that the school just didn't think was serious enough to pick up on. So that's what we done. I called for an assembly. I contacted members of the parliament as well, hoping that they would show up. They didn't. I contacted local focus groups, like centres and like youth groups that we had in the town. They actually attended. I called for all pupils, staff, teachers to attend, family members, parents to attend, and they all did. So for about half an hour, I was just ranting to them about how upset I was. I told them, I don't understand. I was born here, I was raised here, I'm in the hockey team here, I'm in the netball team. I wear the same uniform, I have the same accent. How come I'm treated so differently? And it was so quiet. And the faces, oh my gosh, they dropped. And I think that's when people realise, like, oh yeah, we kind of treated you a bit differently, didn't we? But nothing happened after that. I had no apologies. I had no, Amina, I'm sorry you went through that, we're going to make it up for you. Nothing. Not until the school actually contacted the police, and the police told me, oh, it's a hate crime. We could have took this further, and I was like, what? this is a crime? Like, I didn't know that. I was just getting bullied. They're like, no, this is a genuine crime. You can take it further. I chose not to take it further because, you know, we're just kids. No point trying to ruin a kid's life. You know, we move on. But the fact that I just genuinely didn't know what hate crime was at that age of being 15, 16, that's when kids usually tend to get bullied, that's where I was like, okay, we need to educate ourselves here a little bit. And that's when I got more into, I don't know if you guys heard of like Young Scot. They're a charity in Scotland that work with a lot of young people. They have a lot of projects going on. I started volunteering with them. I started just doing my own research. I just started becoming an activist in the whole area. And then when I left high school, that was during lockdown, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. And I saw an ad for Edinburgh Interfaith Association, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is what I need to do. And I joined, and I remember them mentioning that they want to start a new project to try target schools and high schools to discuss discrimination and hate crime and racism. And I was like, I'm your person. I'm so your person for that. So that's why I run the roadshows. And that's why I think it's so important that we go into these primary schools and these secondary schools and we bring genuine, real people who have lived experience instead of putting on a YouTube video that they're not going to learn anything about. Bring them to the schools, let the kids interact, you know, let them ask questions, and that's how they'll learn. If I had a roadshow in my school, I wouldn't have to do all that nonsense and all that awful assembly and trauma. So that's where I'm just going to end off there. Again, I don't know if my assembly done much, and of course we do get some good positive, that I showed you, positive feedback from our roadshows, but I think the overall message that I'm trying to get across is that no matter how important or no matter how impactful you think it's going to be, just try. Just try. And I can tell you now, I still live in that same town, but I have gained respect. And there's a few teachers who will, you know, they're scared to even ask me how I am because they know I really don't like them. And I like that. I like how I've made you so uncomfortable being a 15, 16-year-old. I like how I made you so uncomfortable to a point that you don't know what to do or how to act around me. You know, it's a nice feeling. It's so nice. But I mean, if that's the benefit I got out of the assembly, then I say just do it. Carry on with your work. It's really important because it could change someone's life, and it changed mine. If I didn't do assembly, I honestly don't know where I'd be today. So yeah, that's where we are.